Hi, Rico Canera here, and today we're going to share a little bit about my Virgin Islands history collection. We're going to look at some artifacts from the past. What I have here today is a $2 Confederate note, and on the front, there's a gentleman named Judah Benjamin. He's a Virgin Islander that rose to the rank of Secretary of War, or the third highest ranking person in the Confederacy. Now, for those individuals that were a little bit more affluent, you could afford to invest in the Confederacy into these $500 bonds. And you'll notice that it says you can get paid 8% on January 1st, 1875, after the conclusion of the war. Now, that's of course if things went well for the South. If it didn't go well, then maybe you might not recover your funds, which is exactly what happened. Now, in addition to people like Judah Benjamin, there were other people like this gentleman here, General or Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. And he came and he issued this mortgage bond to raise $500 for his return to power. And right here, you look close up, there's Villa Santana on the island of St. Thomas, and he mortgaged that property to try to raise money. Right there's his signature. All right. So staying on the topic of currency or money from the past, we have here some merchant tokens. There were actually about 24 different merchants on the island of St. Thomas that issued these tokens, and they did so for a reason. Unlike in the United States, where they issue coins every year since the 1700s, in the Danish West Indies, they basically issued them as needed. So the last year that they issued coins were 1883, and between 1883 and 1905, they didn't issue them at all. So the local merchants pretty much took it upon themselves to make their own coins so that they could issue change to their customers. So for people that are traveling and want to show people 3D images of different places that they went to, they issued these stereo views. And these were popular in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And the way that they work is you have a stereo view and you have a stereo viewer. You put the image in there, you hold it up, you can move the little handle back and forth to get a nice, clear 3D image of your travels. Now, on the same line as those, there were things called magic lanterns. And these are images projected on glass. Now, not only could you personally look at them, but you could put them behind a candle and project these images up against the wall. So sometimes people would come from far and wide and hundreds of people at a time to come and see pictures of your various travels. Again, from the late 1800s, early 1900s. So, two pieces of mail that I want to share with you guys that are very interesting. So this first one on the top, it says, examined by. And the reason it says that is because during World War II and World War I, all mail in and out of the United States was censored. So they opened up your letters, they read them, made sure they were appropriate, make sure you weren't sharing any secrets with the enemy. Then the next one, right under it, it was from 1929. So this is Charles Lindbergh's second visit to the island of St. Thomas. And what makes this interesting is that at the very bottom, it says delivered by Mrs. Charles Lindbergh. A lot of people don't know that she was also an aviator, one of the first women pilots in the United States. And she came to the United States Virgin Islands, delivered the mail, and was very well greeted. So, next item here. Most people know that the Virgin Islands have changed hands a number of different times. Matter of fact, it's famously said that 7 flags flew over St. Croix, but also on the island of St. Thomas, they were also captured twice by the British. Now, of all the cannons that you have in the Virgin Islands, believe it or not, never once was a cannon fired in war. Last thing we have here for you today is a Taino Indian stamp. And this is the style that they use on the island of St. John. It's a piece of stone or pottery or sometimes shell, and it has a little image carved on there. And what they would do is they would press it against like crushed leaves or different soils or berries or whatever pigments that they had, and then they would put the different markings on their body. Whether it was religious or ceremonial, whatever, is not really known. But what we do know is that this style comes from the island of St. John. So hopefully you've enjoyed my collection, and thank you.